welcome to my top 5 Pokemon. This time we're gonna be counting all of my top 5 Hoenn Pokemon that I love since playing the 3rd generation games. And you guys know, I have a very sentimental kind of feeling about Gen 3 because Gen 3 is one of the very first generation I have played in so long. So of course I have very sentimental kind of attachment, nostalgic attachment to Gen 3. So yes, this is gonna be top 5 of all my favorite. This is discounting all the legendaries, starters, and mythicals that are in Gen 3 because I think those are a list on their own. So those are discounting those factors. If you do like to use them on your top 5, so feel free to do so. I just want to impose that. So if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like and subscribing, I do a lot of Nintendo gaming, Pokemon related content, anime related content on my channel. So if you do enjoy, check me out. And of course, without further ado, let's begin and with number 5. Each generation of Pokemon, there's that one Pokemon, the early bird Pokemon. It's always in that kind of thing is always in a generation, like early rodent Pokemon, like Rattata, and then there's also early bird Pokemon, which is part of those group is Swallow. And one of my favorite early bird Pokemon is definitely Swallow. I always try to get a Swallow. In fact, my very first shiny in Gen 3 is in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire in its remake, a shiny Taillow. I just love how slick the design, the personality in Ash's team, Ash's Swallow. It's like chef's kiss, everything about Swallow. Heck, I even put the yellow Swallow that Ash used against Liza and Tate up here in this list. I love that battle by far thus far. I love that. I freaking love that fight. I have to mention it twice, and I even use it as my tablet because that's how much I love it. And then just the presentation of that whole fight, the dynamic between Pikachu and Swallow, the dynamic between Swallow and Ash, like chef's kiss. I always get Swallow. The design is just awesome. Really, really cool design, and the personality is awesome. The lore, everything about Swallow, man. Chef's kiss, and one of the fastest Pokemon by far in the roster of early bird. So for me, just the iconic Swallow will be number 5 on this list. Without further ado, let's proceed into number 4. Is a bit controversial because, like I said, I first played Pokemon through the Deluge RPG game, and for me, ABSOL was my very first team, and I just love how the slick design is, how slick is this, how adorable it can be. I love this epithet, the disaster Pokemon. Like, in the anime, they present it really well because, well, every time ABSOL appears, a disaster occurs. It's always foreshadowed, followed by a disaster. So it's gonna have the epithet of disaster Pokemon, the disaster Pokemon. So I just love the whole disaster Pokemon kind of very edgy kind of title, and yet embodies ABSOL really well. The dark typing alone embodies ABSOL really well. The slick design, I think I love the little yin yang on its head. The design for ABSOL, man. The design and the lore, everything about ABSOL, even the epithet. I just love it. The fact that it also gets that Mega Evolution is just cherry on top. I feel like ABSOL is one of those Pokemon that should have got the fairy typing, the dark fairy typing. So why couldn't they give him a fairy typing? It looks like a fairy type to me. It ABSOL literally looks like a fairy type. So why not give it the fairy typing? And it just looks so cute. It looks so badass. Without further ado, number 4, ABSOL. Absolutely great design, great lore, and I just love him. I just love him. Without further ado, let's proceed into number power. It's just a power incarnate. Like the thick dragon, the very first thick dragon we got, Salamence. The first time I saw him in the anime, this very imposing dragon, this very imposing dragon type. One of the pseudo legendaries of the generation, and rightfully so. It's one of the fastest, one of the strongest kind of dragon type of all time. And I kind of hate the fact that the anime presented Salamence really poorly by giving it to like villains. I wanted more from Salamence in the anime, and they give it to a villain. I wanted it to be given to one of Ash's companion. Funnily enough, they gave Bagon a character arc in the anime, but not Salamence. And Salamence is a really, really awesome Pokemon, and you should have given Salamence much more love in the anime. I freaking love the design. This is primarily more on the gaming mechanics where I love Salamence. Salamence is a kick-ass dragon, thick dragon, fast. It's really good. It hits like a truck, and it can take some hits as well. So overall, Salamence for me is just awesome, badass in design, good stat-wise. Just in the anime, I kind of don't like it in the anime. I feel like they presented Salamence really poorly compared to the other pseudo legends like Garchomp. So yeah, overall, awesome Pokemon, and for now it's just gonna be number 3 on my list. The waifu Pokemon, Gardevoir. I mean, I'm a weeb. Of course I'm gonna pick Gardevoir. Just this awesome mystique kind of design. Like, it's not necessarily going to be like a female design, but just the awesome mystique of Gardevoir. Like, there's that certain kind of mystique. I freaking love Gardevoir's design. That I feel like many people consider as a feminine design, but overall, I don't think Nintendo was aiming for that, or the Game Freak was aiming for it to be primarily female, because it's not that feminine. It's very mysterious in a way, and then it's very charming in its own way as well. And giving it the fairy typing because of that is just icing on the cake. And I love the design of the Mega Evolution, giving him that kind of dress. Like, I freaking love that design. So yes, Gardevoir is definitely one of those Pokemon that you couldn't help getting, because you can get it pretty early on, as early as Route 2. Route 2, right? The one of the early routes in Gen 3. And you couldn't help it, given that it's very rare, but you can get it very early on. If you have the chance, you will get that route, because it hits like a truck kind of Pokemon. It's really fragile, but it hits like a truck. It's really fast as well. So if given the chance, you will definitely want to add a Gardevoir to your team, and rightfully so. It's available to you really early on in the game. So for me, one of the most early Pokemon, and of course one of my favorite design-wise kind of characters, one of the most better looking kind of design-wise, aesthetically pleasing Pokemon in my opinion, and available early on in the game as well. Without further ado, Gardevoir is definitely one of my top 2 favorite in the Hoenn region. METAGROSS, a story time. The story time with Infernape King. I love it when a pseudo legendary, as you may know, last top 5. I have Tyranitar at the very top of the list, and now I have METAGROSS because I enjoy pseudo legendaries that are not dragon type, that has unique design, unique typing, and they're relatively powerful moves in their arsenal. Really strong stats in their arsenal, and even better than that is it gets the powerful Mega Evolution. I should definitely make a top 5 Mega, huh? So yeah, with that being said, METAGROSS just have that powerful design. Like, don't mess with a METAGROSS. Like, the first time I see him against on Steven's team, I immediately think power incarnate right there, because it's really bulky, it can be really tanky, it can be really offensive, it can be whatever you want. It's really a flexible kind of Pokemon, although it's not that fast. It's really bulky. It can be a special attack. It can be physical. Overall, Metagross is one of those Pokemon that just have unique traits for a pseudo-legendary that is not a dragon. I enjoy those kind of legendary, pseudo-legendary more than the dragon types, because you can have unique typing, a unique type other than dragon, a unique type, a unique lore that is far from dragons, and still be as kick-ass as a dragon. So yes, count how many times I use the word dragon there. So yes, like I freaking love any Pokemon that is pseudo legendary status that is not a dragon type. That includes Tyranitar and Metagross, because they can compete with dragon types just fine without the typing. I just love it. I love the uniqueness. I love the badassery of Metagross. Everything about Metagross, my dudes. Everything about Metagross is just fantabulous, fantastic, awesome, badass in design. And Steven being one of my favorite top 2 champions, having it, cherry on top, honestly. Just cherry on the freaking top. Yes. Number 1,